I suggest that there are three main goals that the administration ought to take on with regard to poverty. One is incentivizing and supporting low-wage work. The second is ensuring an effective safety net, a more effective safety net than we have today. That's going to be increasingly important as this recession deepens. And the third is creating opportunity in high-risk neighborhoods. Now, as noted, President-elect Obama has had quite a complete set of proposals out there on his website, and a number of them fit into this. If I were going to prioritize some of the things that are out there, I would list the following three items. First of all, and this is something I would try to work on from the very beginning of the administration and to do it early, expanding the earned income tax credit, particularly for those individuals without children. Right now, it's very, very small supplement to help make work pay to people who don't have kids. We need to make this more generous and more extensive in the way that we have for families with children in order to increase the incentives for labor force participation, particularly among low-skilled men and particularly among men of color who are dropping out of the labor market at somewhat alarming rates. Secondly, on the ensuring an effective safety net, President-elect Obama has long on his website and in several speeches been talking about reforming the unemployment insurance system. With rising unemployment rates, a variety of state unemployment insurance budgets borrowing in order to cover costs, it's really long past time to reform this system so that it works more effectively as a safety net for workers when they lose their jobs. In terms of opportunities in high-risk neighborhoods, one of the real promising items on President-elect Obama's agenda has been expanding promise neighborhoods along the lines of those that are currently being tried in the Harvard Children's Zone in New York City by Jeff Canada. This is a neighborhood-based reform effort that tries to bring all the actors together centered around reforming schools and improving education. We need to do this in more places, and we need to evaluate it seriously. It's a very, very promising intervention. Now, of course, I have a number of ideas that go beyond what's on the website, and let me just throw out four other things that I would put very high on my priority list. One is to reestablish an effective safety net for mothers with children. The current cash assistance programs that are available through the Temporary Assistance with Needy Family Block Grants have been cut back way too far. And particularly with the current recession, I think we're going to see a lot of moms and kids who are both not on work and not on welfare. We're already seeing those numbers rising, and they're going to rise faster, and there are a variety of things we need to do to improve that. Secondly, with all of the focus on foreclosure and housing crises, we need to prioritize how we deal with this. And the priority needs to be focusing on the neighborhoods that have a very high level of foreclosures inside them. Those are the most impacted neighborhoods. Once you have 20 to 25% of your houses in foreclosure, all the other people in that neighborhood, many of whom have been paying their loans on time, perfectly fine in terms of supporting their own mortgage, have seen all of their equity disappear because there's just no possible way to sell a house in those neighborhoods. And we need to focus our first attention on the high foreclosure neighborhoods. Thirdly, using this high unemployment period, not necessarily to create jobs, but to actually give people the opportunity to go get more training. It's exactly when people are unemployed, when the cost of going to school is pretty low, and particularly for young people, those who may not yet have finished a high school degree or those who have finished a high school degree, now is the time to put more money into trying to get them into further skills and further training, so once the economy starts to improve, they've got additional skills to which they're coming back into the job market. And finally, as Jason mentioned, and I've been saying this for a long time, and boy, is it past overdue, we really need to revise the official poverty measure. We need to make it far more sensitive, not just to economic changes, but to policy changes. It's a long discussion we can have around this one, but there is currently legislation in front of the House and Senate. This administration, when it comes in, could basically make this happen very quickly, and it would really give us a much more effective measure of who's in need. As you look out towards the years ahead, there are other things this administration are going to do in terms of educational reform, focused on preschool education and post-secondary education, and in terms of health care that are very important to the anti-poverty agenda. You want to do those things for many reasons, but certainly to help disadvantaged families and children as well.